Growing up, whenever I met new people, my parents would tell them my name, and immediately after, they would tell them that I was shy. And they would also apologize for it, which I truly never understood, and I still don't to this day. Growing up as a shy kid was challenging, yet it was just who I was. I'd never leave my parents' side, and you could always find me hiding behind them or barely speaking when it was time to meet someone new. Being shy is something that most kids have to deal with at one point or another, yet they'll ultimately grow out of it shortly after, which was not the case for me. Being shy was something that defined me. Whenever I'd ask people what their first thought of me was, roughly everyone would respond with, "You are really shy." Or when my friends describe me to other people, it's always, "She's shy at first, but after a while she opens up." This one adjective literally defined my entire life, and I was just sick and tired of it. As someone who's moved schools 3 separate times in their life, making new friends was challenging for me, simply because I was too scared to do so. I vividly remember on my first day at a new school where I didn't know anyone, one girl was nice enough to sit with me at lunch, and it was just her and I at the table. And that is something that I will never forget. And from that moment forward, I realized that I was a lot less confident in myself compared to others. Being an outgoing person was never my thing, and it still truly isn't to this day. I was constantly afraid that I would say the wrong thing, or if I didn't say anything at all, people would think that I was rude. I was so over having this constant fear of what people would think of me, and extremely over the lack of confidence I had in myself. I can imagine that you all wanted to change one aspect of yourself before, simply to grow and to better yourself as a person. This was the one aspect of myself that I truly wanted to change. When I was younger, my parents would always enroll me in extracurriculars with someone that I knew or someone who I was familiar with. Up until my junior year of high school, I never did anything without knowing someone else who was doing it too. And when I first heard about FFI, I knew it would be such a unique experience and that it would also provide so many great opportunities for my future. Hearing about the program from my stepsister Megan, who worked with FFI before, she specifically said to me, "I wish I fit into the age requirements to join myself." And I knew that I should do it for myself, but I also wanted to do it for her. I'm the type of person who is always willing to try something new, at least once. I knew applying for FFI would be good for me, even if I didn't get in. I'm also someone who doesn't have high expectations when it comes to literally anything. I'm always expecting the worst possible outcome. I did not have high hopes for getting into FFI since the program was greatly focused on communication and leadership skills, which are two things that I truly lacked. By lacking skills that the program was centered around, on top of never branching out and doing something like this on my own, I was simply terrified. I remember doubting myself so much before my interview with Tegan that the thought of skipping it crossed my mind, simply because I was so scared to talk about myself to someone that I've never met before. During my interview, I did exactly what my parents did. I introduced myself and then proceeded to tell her that I was a shy person. During our first meeting, I remember not speaking unless I was spoken to or if someone asked me a question. Roughly up until our fifth meeting, I never considered myself a leader or someone willing to share their thoughts and opinions. FFI truly helped change me for that. Now, almost 2 months later, I'm beyond confident and comfortable starting conversations and joining others when there's something that I want to say. Now I'm someone who loves the tasks given for leaders of the day, someone who loves speaking during debrief, and someone who truly loves communicating and sharing my thoughts and opinions with others. Being able to meet new people from so many different places around the world and talk about my personal problems or my life stories is something that my past self would have immediately dismissed, simply because I would have been too scared to do so. Now I'm here reading a speech about myself in front of many people in full confidence. Frankly, as I was writing this speech, I was getting more and more excited about the idea of sharing it with you guys, which is the total opposite of how I felt 2 months ago when it comes to speaking in front of others. In the past, there would be moments that I felt as if my voice and opinions were never heard, whether it was in school, work, or just within a group of my friends. Just because I might seem shy doesn't mean that I shouldn't have a chance to express my opinions, thoughts, or emotions like everyone else. By gaining a great deal of confidence through FFI, I now feel as if my thoughts, opinions, and especially my emotions can be heard by others. Looking back at how low my confidence was at the beginning of March to where it is now at the beginning of May is simply astonishing. I've even had people make comments about how I seem less anxious and more excited when it comes to having a simple conversation, because that is something that I certainly would have avoided in the past. After all, I would have been too scared to do so. Being reserved or having or showing nervousness or timidity in the company of others is the definition of shy in the dictionary. And before I related to those words and they defined me. And now where I stand today, I can certainly say that I cannot relate to those words and they definitely do not define me as a person. By gaining a variety of life skills throughout FFI, and most importantly, feeling self-assured when it comes to meeting and speaking with new people, instead of introducing myself as Remi Mandeville, the girl who is extremely shy, I will now introduce myself as Remi Mandeville, the girl who is extremely confident.